All right, let's jump right in. Welcome to today's explainer, where we're going to tackle a vocabulary challenge that, honestly, might look just a little bit intimidating at first glance. We've got this classic matching quiz right from our source material, and we're going to break it down, solve it, and most importantly, actually make these words stick in your brain.
But before we get into the heavy lifting, I want you to honestly ask yourself, how many definitions can you match right off the top of your head? Like, if you hear a rapid fire list of words, do you instantly know the answers, or are you kind of left guessing? Well, if it's the latter, do not worry, because by the end of this explainer, you're going to have every single one of them locked in.
And this setup brilliantly illustrates our challenge today. We have a very straightforward 11-word quiz. 11 words, all starting with the letter A, from abash all the way down to absolve. On the flip side, we've got a completely scrambled list of definitions. Our mission? To perfectly match each word with its exact meaning. Now, we could just grind through this, right? Just go purely down the list from 1 to 11. But honestly, that is so boring. And worse, it makes it incredibly hard to actually remember any of it later. So the real secret here is using what I like to call a decoder ring strategy. We're going to group these 11 A words into 3 totally distinct themes, or, vibes, to really cement them into your memory. Structured learning is the best learning, for sure.
Okay, so let's kick things off with theme 1, letting go. For this first theme, we are focusing entirely on words that deal with surrendering, quitting, or just releasing something. Scan our list, and you'll find these 3 A words perfectly fit that letting go vibe: abdicate, abnegate, and absolve. They all share this kind of conceptual DNA of releasing your grip on something.
Let's test your intuition for a second. Take a look at those 3 words and guess which one specifically relates to, say, a monarch giving up their throne. Which one literally means to just completely walk away from a position of authority? Well, if you guessed abdicate, you absolutely nailed it. Abdicate is the exact match for stepping down from power. You are officially totally letting go of control. Now, what's really interesting here is comparing abdicate to its close cousin, abnegate. While abdicate is super specific to stepping down from a powerful position, abnegate has a slightly broader application. It means to renounce. You might abnegate or renounce a deeply held belief, a claim, or even a personal indulgence. So it's still letting go, but just in a slightly different flavor. And rounding out our first theme of letting go is absolve. This one simply means to forgive. When you absolve someone, you're letting go of their guilt or the blame attached to them. You are releasing them from a burden. All right, that is our first theme completely done.
Let's move on to theme 2, bad vibes and failures.
As we look at the remaining words, you'll probably notice a rather humorous trend popping up. Welcome to the bad vibes and failures category. These 4 words are practically dripping in negative energy: abash, abhor, abject, and abortive. If you are experiencing literally any of these, you're probably not having a great time. So think about it for a second. We have these bad vibes lined up. Which of those profoundly negative words matches with being completely, utterly without hope? The answer is abject. When a situation is abject, it is completely hopeless. We're talking the absolute bottom of the barrel. There is zero optimism to be found there. Right next to it in the failure category is abortive. If an effort or a mission is abortive, it's unsuccessful. Basically, it's an attempt that completely failed to produce the intended result and was cut short before it could ever succeed. Now, let's contrast the more emotional bad vibes. We have abhor, which is this extreme feeling of detesting something. It's a very strong, active, outward hatred. On the other hand, abash is a very uncomfortable, inward feeling of embarrassment. So one is outward disgust, the other is inward humiliation. But hey, both definitely qualify as massive bad vibes. All right, moving to our final group, theme 3, shifting states. Fantastic progress so far, by the way. For our final chunk of words, let's dive into things changing form, size, or status. We have exactly 4 words left: abate, aberration, abridge, and absolute. These all describe a shift away from the norm or a major change in magnitude. First up in this group is aberration, which means a deviation. It's a shift away from what is normal, expected, or standard. If something is an aberration, it's a total anomaly. It has definitely shifted out of its regular state. Now imagine a massive, chaotic storm of deviation. When that storm finally calms down and loses its intensity, we say the storm will abate, which simply means to subside. The state of the storm is shifting from intense to calm.
But what if you have way too much text, maybe a massive dictionary or a really long explainer script, and you need to shift its size? Well, you abridge it. That simply means to shorten. You've changed the physical state of the text without losing the core meaning.
And finally, when a state shifts all the way to its absolute maximum capacity, where literally nothing more can be added or questioned, it becomes absolute. It is total and complete. It is shifted to the ultimate extreme. And just like that, here is our completed decoder ring. What started out as a messy, intimidating jumble of letters and definitions is now a perfectly solved quiz. By structuring this information into those 3 themes, letting go, bad vibes, and shifting states, we didn't just solve the puzzle. We built a real framework to actually remember these definitions long term. By breaking down that raw data, looking for the patterns, and connecting the concepts conceptually, you've completely mastered this piece of the source text. It's no longer intimidating, it is conquered. And honestly, that is the power of a good, structured explainer. So I'm going to leave you with something to ponder as we wrap up today's explainer. Ask yourself, which A word perfectly captures your day-to-day? Are things in aberration right now? Did an annoying problem finally abate? Or maybe you just absolved someone of a mistake? Keep these words fresh in your mind by applying them to your daily life. Thanks so much for learning with me today, and hey, keep that curiosity going.